Hey friends, you're watching BrainStormAcres. I'm Henry. Well, it's a few days before we're getting ready to go to the next show for Irene's business. And as usual, I've got to fix something, this time on the truck. Now I got this truck, let's see, I think I got it in 2008. It came into my possession because a company I was working for owed me money and they couldn't afford to pay me, so I took the truck in trade for the money I was owed. It's been great because I've used it for more than 100,000 miles driving Irene's things to various shows. Now, the Mudflaps on the truck have finally given up the ghost. They're probably at least 17 years old. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off. Now, last night I put some penetrating oil on these fasteners. So we'll see if it works. Now I'll move to the other side, see if that will help any better. Now these screws don't have a bolt, have a nut on the back side, so they just come right straight out. And that's the primary reason why I put the penetrating oil on it last night. Well, now I guess I get to sit on the ground and see about pulling those screws all the way out. Wow, moving around on this gravel can be tricky. It slides pretty bad. And unfortunately, there's all manner of white horehound stickers in everything. It's a good thing I put some penetrating oil on this last night. One screw, one washer out. Repeat 5 more times. 2 on this side and 3 on the other. Now the other side's a little easier because the screws come in from the other side. Well, I bought some new mud flaps. They're 24 by 30 inches up and down. I think they're too long, but I can modify them to fit. Do the same thing with the new ones as the truck stop did with the old ones. Well, you don't need to watch me do this. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the camera and get this stuff out, and we'll see what works. You know, it's always either the first bolt or the last bolt that's coming out that's a real pain in the neck to get out. It gets stuck, it gets rusted in place, stripped out, or something like that. And this one was no exception. Fortunately, it's not stripped out, but there was a lot more rust on it than what I had anticipated, so it came out really, really hard. But I have it all out now. But I'm going to check the new mud flaps I bought because I think they're the wrong size. I took the measurements off these mud flaps to buy the new ones. But I think that these mud flaps were put on in a different fashion than what the new ones are intended. So I'll check that out, and I may be going back to the auto parts store. Well, it's time to put the new mud flap on. I decided after lunch that I'd bring out one of our special kneeling pads because this rock is really rough on your skin. You poke holes in yourself. And I spent quite a lot of time removing burrs out of my pants and out of my skin. Now I'm putting this back together in a slightly different way than it was put together to begin with. The original mud flap was mounted on the side closest towards the cab of the truck. And that's not what I want. I want this mud flap to go on from the back because then there's more room to get at the screws. Now the screws are a special Torx-headed screw. It looks kind of like a six-pointed star that goes into each one of the heads of the screws. That's good because they don't slip real easily. That's bad because you have to have the right kind of Torx bit. Now fortunately, because I've done other kinds of automotive work in the past, I had a set of these. It was a matter of getting the right one. I have the right Torx bit, so I'm going to start putting the new mud flap on. We'll see if this plan works. This may or may not work. Hello. I think I understand why those other mudflaps were modified the way they were. Well, let me give this a shot anyway. Well, it looks like I'll be modifying these mudflaps so they go onto the truck in the right fashion. If it's not one thing, it's another. We'll take this up tomorrow. Minor setbacks. Pain in the neck setbacks.